Hello, good people of YouTube. Mountbatten here. And today we are discussing a topic that I've been seeing brought up more and more often in my comment section, as well as elsewhere in the Warships community sphere. And that is, well, just what the hell is going on with coal ships. So, if you live under a rock and don't know what coal ships are ships that you can exchange an in-game resource called coal for. Coal is fairly easy to come by. You can just select coal containers for your 3 daily containers. You can also get it in a variety of modes depending upon what mood wargaming is in. You can pick it up in typically, brawls. Ranked will give you some coal and steel. The dockyard is normally a pretty good place for coal, and then usually whatever random event Wargaming has going on, you can earn some coal in as well. You can exchange coal for ships, consumables, not consumables, upgrades, signal flags, so forth and so on. Like right now in the festive rewards event for Christmas and New Year's, you can earn coal by just playing your ships that you have in port. Same thing happened with the game's anniversary event. Those are normally the two big events where you can amass quite a number of coal, depending upon the size of your in-game fleet. So it's a resource that's fairly easy to come by, and you can exchange it in the Armory for ships. These ships, in most cases, are full-on premium ships. And since you can, of course, get this coal for free by playing the game, you can, then get these free premium ships via coal. Now, if you take a look in the Armory, you'll notice that when you go to the Ships tab and you click on the coal ships, there are quite a number of coal ships. You might be saying, well, Sealord, but what's everyone wondering about? I mean, the coal ships are here, and there's a ton of them. Yes, that's true, but when you get looking at them, you'll notice that most of the ships in the coal tab have been in the game for quite some time, and we really haven't been getting any new coal ships for, shoot, I think it's been, 2 years or maybe a year since we've gotten an actual, unique coal ship added into the game. And you might be thinking, well, no, there's 3 or 4 new ones here at the top. Well, we'll get to that. So to give you an idea, from my recollection and my Googling, the last true blue full-on coal ship was the U-4501. That's right, the Speedy Boy submarine that everybody hates. That was the last full-on coal ship added to the game. Now, what do I mean by full-on coal ship? Well, this is where I believe a lot of the, not really disconnect, but the displeasure comes from with the community. Because while there have been several ships added to the Armory for coal since the release of the U-4501, many of those ships weren't coal ships. They were ships that were event ships. Ships that were available for a limited time, either for purchase in some type of random bundle or sequential bundle, or you could earn them in an event, and then they later get dumped into the Armory for coal. Like the Scharner's 43, the Stord 43, the Jaeger, so forth and so on. And keep in mind that these ships are usually released in an event. They're held in kind of limbo for almost a year in some cases, and then they get added into the Armory for coal. And that right there is the biggest change that I've noticed over the years with how coal ships are released. You see, we used to, if you're a more veteran player, you should remember this, 3 years ago, we would just get coal ships added into the game. We would be reading the patch notes. It's like, oh, cool, that ship that was in testing that was announced, so long ago, it's coming to the game, and it's a coal ship. Cool. Then a couple of updates later, we'd get another one, just, thrown into the Armory. So that was, a fairly regular, addition that we would come to expect from wargaming. But then things started to slow down. And now it's like, oh, that event ship from a year ago is now being introduced into the Armory for coal. I mean, that literally happened with the Jaeger. The Jaeger was a ship you could get, albeit for free in the Jaeger event, and then it was removed, and lo and behold, I think quite literally a year later, the Jaeger was now introduced into the Armory for coal. Same with the Pozharsky, the Tier 8 Soviet cruiser. She was in, what was she, the Voyage to the North event. She was the final reward for that. Then turns out, what was it, like 6 months later, or maybe a year later again, she got dumped into the Armory for coal. So that's definitely pumped the brakes on the amount of coal ships we've been getting in the game in the past, like 2 years. Now, to Wargaming's credit, there are quite a few coal ships in the Armory. And there's quite a few amazing coal ships in the Armory. Quite literally, in my opinion, some of the best ships in the game are coal ships. The Napoli's in there. And that's a fantastic tier 10 Italian cruiser that is great in brawls, great in rank. You could really buy the Napoli for a coal and not really need any other premium ship in the game, in my opinion. Maybe pick up a tier 9 for the credit income. Speaking of tier 9 premium ships for printing credits, the Azuma is a coal ship. That is hands down one of the best credit farming ships in the game, and it's in the Armory for coal. Kearsarge is in the Armory. Again, in my opinion, one of the best tier 9 battleships in game. In the Armory for coal. Pomeran's in the Armory for coal. Apparently it's more of a mixed bag here, but I've gotten through so many tier 9 ranked seasons with Pomeran. That ship is great for that. In the Armory for coal. So, well, yeah, there's been kind of a slowdown in the amount of coal ships we've been getting. There still is, quite frankly, a lot there that you can get completely for free. So, is it a problem that we've been getting less and less coal ships over the past couple of years? Well, I mean, it is, at the end of the day, less free content that has been added to the game. However, I mean, we are still getting new coal ships. Yeah, at a slower rate. And yeah, they are event ships that came out 6 months to a year ago. But, I mean, hey, you don't buy the ship in the event. You wait a little while, and then you can get the ship completely for free for coal. I mean, that's not really a bad deal in my mind. I mean, you're getting the ship at the end of the day. You're getting it for free rather than usually grossly overpaying for it in whatever event that the ship does get released in. So there's that. And it is still a free way to get ships, and they are still adding them into the game. Coal is something that Wargaming can, in most cases, control. You see, if you are an old enough player, you should remember the days of free XP ships. And if you're a young player, buckle in for a story here. So back in the day, Wargaming used to introduce free XP ships. This is before we even had the Armory. You would go into the tech tree and there would be a ship sitting off to the side with a little free XP icon next to it. And you could grind out free XP and purchase that ship for free XP. So you could get, again, premium ships for free. And that's how we got ships like the Missouri, the Musashi, and the Nelson. You see, the problem with free XP is that Wargaming got a little, I don't want to say careless, they got a little silly with some of the boosters that we had in game. Again, if you're a veteran player, you should remember the signal flags, the economic signal flags. Yeah, you used to be able to strap them bad boys to your ship and just print credits and XP. And free XP used to be something that was pretty difficult to accumulate, a lot of, unless you really just spent time grinding away in the game. But then with these economic signal flags, premium camos, and premium time all stacked on top of one another, you would have no problem accumulating the amount of free XP you needed to get a free XP ship. And if you're wondering how much did it cost to get a free XP ship, a whopping 750,000 free XP for a friggin' tier 9 free XP ship, which is a premium ship, full-on premium. And that's how much the Missouri went for. OG, broken, just printed credits Missouri. That's how much that went for. So Wargaming kind of lost control of free XP. It was no longer something that was overly hard to grind, so they did away with free XP ships and introduced coal ships as their replacement, because Wargaming can control the amount of coal you get. You can get so much of it for, doing XYZ in game. They know how much is out there. They know how much you can acquire, so they know how much, well, not that they know how much, they can basically ensure that you're playing the game, because that's kind of the trade-off for these coal ships. You know, instead of paying money for it, you know, Wargaming's not getting that out of you. They're getting, you know, you populating their servers and you playing the game in order to acquire this coal. That does a couple of things. One thing is it ensures you're playing the game so that there's people in game to play against. The other thing it does is, well, the longer you play the game, the more likely you are, of course, to spend money on the game, right? So, and you know, I'm not trying to demonize Wargaming for that. Like, this is a free-to-play game. You can spend nothing in this game and have a great time. I know more than a few players that do that, but like, Wargaming's a company. They need money. They need money to keep the servers running. Like, they literally have to pay to keep the servers running, right? They have to pay the staff. They have to pay Bogsy, you know, very important piece of Wargaming right there. So, you know, it's a company is what I'm saying. Like, you know, they're in it for the money. They need it to operate, right? So that's kind of the deal with coal ships. So, I mean, in my opinion, coal ships, they're still there. They're still being added in on a fairly regular basis. Yes, it's not as many as it used to be. And if they were, like, pulling them out of the armory and we only had, like, a handful in the armory, I would say, yeah, it's a big problem. But, like, again, there's so many in the armory already. They're great ships that are in the armory. You know, if you're out of all the coal ships that you can buy or that you're interested in, you can still, you know, you can buy upgrades for coal, right? You can buy those improved modules, like the improved radar module and such, right? You can spend coal on that, and you know that's a way to improve your ship's performance in game. Of course, I would like to see more coal ships come to the game, right? More straight up coal ships. Again, the last one was like friggin' U4501, right? But I mean, hey, again, it's still free at the end of the day, in my opinion. There's a lot there. There's some of the best ships in game. So while I would like to see more added to the game, I don't think it's a major issue at this point. So guys, that's my 2 cents on coal ships. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you think what they're doing right now, or what they seem to be moving to right now, is, you know, all right? Where these event ships that if you don't buy them in the event, you know, you wait 6 months and you can pick them up in the armory for coal. Do you think that's fine? Or do you think we need to return to, you know, more straight up just coal ships being added into the armory? Let me know all that jazz in the comments down below. Hope you guys have a wonderful Friday and wonderful rest of your weekend. I hope to catch you guys in the next one.